Hello everyone, this is Sumit Bose and I am from the Bodhi Academy. Today we are going to discuss on the chapter The Letter to God. It's an English story of class 10th. So without any further delay, let's start. The house, the only one in the entire valley, sat on the crest of a low hill. From this height, one could see the river and the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. The only thing the earth needed was a downpour of the least, a shower. Okay, so everything was set up in a proper way, but only shower was needed to have a good harvest. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. The woman who was preparing supper replied, Yes, God willing. The older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the women called to them all. Come for dinner. It was during the meal that, just as Lencho had predicted, big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went on for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, These aren't rainbows falling from the sky. They are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are fives. Basically, it's hailing. Okay. With a satisfied expression, he regretted the field of ripe corn with its flowers, draped in a curtain of rain. But suddenly a strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. It's really getting bad now, exclaimed the man. I hope it passes quickly. It did not pass quickly. For an hour the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. The field was white as it was covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lencho's soul was filled with sadness when the storm had passed. He stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing this year. We will have no corn. That night was sorrowful one. All our work for nothing. There was no one who can help us. We'll all have to go hungry this year. So, for the first extract, okay, it is clearly signifying the horrible condition which Lencho, the farmer, is facing. Okay, he is very upset because of the hailstorm has destroyed his entire cornfield. Okay, but the hearts of who lived in the solitary house in the middle of valley, there was a single hope, help from God. Don't be upset, even though this seems like a total loss. Remember, one dies one of hunger. This what they say. No one dies of hunger. Although all through the night, Lencho thought only his one hope, the help of God, whose eyes, as he had been instructed, see everything, even what is deep in one's conscience. Lencho was an ox of a man, working like an animal in the fields, but still he knew how to write. The following Sunday at daybreak, he began to write a letter which himself would carry to the town and a place to the mail. It was nothing less than a letter to God. God, he wrote, if you don't help me, my family and I will go hungry this year. So this is the simplicity of Lencho, which is being described here. Okay, his belief, not simplicity, belief. Okay, I need 100 pesos in order to sow my field again and to live until the crop comes, because the hailstorm, he wrote to God. To God on the envelope, put the letter inside, and still troubled, went to town. At the post office, he placed the stamp of the letter, dropped into the mailbox. One of the employees, who was a postman, also helped at the post office. Went to his boss, laughing heartedly, showed him the letter to God. Never in his career as a postman had he known at that address. The postmaster, a fat, amiable fellow, also broke out laughing. But almost immediately he turned serious and, tapping the letter in his desk, commented, "What faith! I wish I had the faith of the man who wrote this letter, stirring up the correspondence with God." So, in order not to shake the writer's faith in God, the postmaster came up with an idea. What idea? Answer the letter. But when he opened it, it was evident that to answer it he needed something more than goodwill, ink and paper. But he stuck to his resolution. He asked for money from his employees. He himself gave part of his salary, and several friends of his were obliged to give something for an act of charity. It was impossible for him to gather together the 100 pesos, so he was able to send the farmer only a little more than half, but the money in an envelope addressed to Lencho and with it letter containing only a single word as a signature, God. The following Sunday, Lencho came a bit earlier than usual to ask if there was a letter for him. Okay. It was the postman himself who handed the letter into him, while the postmaster, experiencing the contentment of a man who has performed a good deed, looked on from his office. Lencho showed not the slightest surprise on seeing the money. Okay, because Lencho knew that God would answer. So this is the faith of a Lencho which he has in God. Okay, such was confidence. But he became angry when he counted the money. God could not have made a mistake, nor could have denied Lencho what he had requested. Immediately Lencho went up to the window, asked the paper and ink. On the public writing table he started to write, with much wrinkling in his brow caused to the effort to make express his ideas. When he finished, he went to the window to buy a stamp. When he licked and affixed the envelope with his blow of his fist, the moment the letter fell into the mailbox and the postmaster went to open it, it said, "God, of the money that I asked for, only 70 pesos reach me. Send me the rest, since I need it very much. But don't send it to me through the mail, because the post office employees are a bunch of crooks. Lencho." So the entire story deals with the simplicity and the faith of Lencho towards God. Okay, and as the postmaster and all the employees in the post office were unable to contribute the exact amount which Lencho required, Lencho thinks that those God had sent 100 pesos, but they have stealed it. Okay, so I hope you all understood the lesson, and for more information and details, please contact the Bodhi Academy.